Hey all, Tom Moran here from Tom's Big Spiders. This one's going to be a rehousing of my C. olivaceum or olivaceum. I've heard it pronounced both ways, which I believe is called the Middle Eastern spider or the black furry spider, something along those lines. I'll make sure I correct it if I'm wrong. Anyway, I picked these guys up last year from Fear Not Tarantulas. I've been absolutely enamored with them since seeing a video on World of Spiders about them that kind of got me obsessed with picking some up, and I've enjoyed growing them up. So it's time for their first rehousing. So we're going to take them from their little dram bottles and get them in something bigger. So enough of me talking. Let's get into the actual video. All right, so we're about to rehouse my Chaetopelma olivaceum or olivaceum. I've heard it pronounced several different ways, but that's what I'm going with. This is the Middle East tarantula or black furry, I believe are the common names. I've been obsessed with these guys since watching a video on World of Spiders that shows a colony of them in an old tomb, and they're basically eating all these millipedes are in there. It was one of the coolest videos I have ever seen. It actually got me on the channel World of Spiders, and ever since then I wanted to get some, so I picked some up from Tanya, I think late last year at Fear Not, and they're getting a little big for these vials, so we'll point it under the light here. There's the spider right in there. And this one's probably getting close to a molt. You can see that booty's looking huge. Now these guys come in a couple, they have the common name, obviously, black furry, but I've seen ones out there that are more of a gold color. It seems like it depends on the locality which color you get. So I don't know if it's so much a different species, because I've heard people ask, are there two different species of them? But there are definite variations in the coloration of them. Now, they've been fantastic eaters, great growers. Obviously an old world species because these come from the Middle East, and that was one of the things that kind of attracted me to them, is the fact that it was really cool that it was a Middle Eastern tarantula, and I guess they can be found in forest, pine forests, but they also found in urban areas now. They've kind of made their homes in cities and urban areas and houses and rock walls and stuff. Just really cool spiders, known for being incredibly defensive. Now, I haven't seen any of the defensive behavior myself yet, but I haven't really mucked with them at all. So there's very good chance here we'll see some of that threat posturing or defensive behavior. Now, temperatures, I kept them at room temperature. They grew perfectly fine. They started off at probably about 3/4 of an inch or so, and they're probably pushing about 1.5 inches now, maybe even 2 inches. One's bigger than the other, but we'll get a better look hopefully once they come out here. Now, what I'm going to try to do is just poke this one out. We're going to have the catch cup ready. And of course, all this stuff's going to come out, and I'll talk a little more about, sorry, spider. Is it on the, well, I just tried to use the catch cup as a flashlight. So I'll just call myself on that there. I was like, why isn't it working? No, definitely not. There it is. All right, so let's, so what I'm going to try to do is move this stuff so Billy can get a good close-up shot of it. I did keep these, oh, there's a threat posture. There we go. There we go. These guys are notorious for being a little bit nasty. But again, you know, they're in a some of them live in inhospitable regions. The ones living around people, I'm sure got to worry about a shoe falling on them when they get in homes and stuff. So I don't blame them one bit. I did keep them moist when they were smaller, so I'd keep the bottom levels of substrate moist. I will say I was expecting these guys to do some burrowing like most slings that I have, and they really didn't do a lot of the burrowing. They kind of, and we'll look at this one here just for evidence, it did kind of dig down a little bit, but they're usually right on top. They don't usually hang out in their burrows, which I thought was interesting. And obviously these guys are from regions that can be quite arid, so as they put on some size, I don't think it's as important that you keep it moist, but as slings, I did want to keep it a little bit moist for them. So there's one right there. And we're going to go ahead and close this one up. Wow, this closure is definitely going to give it some room to grow. Now, they are known to be very heavy webbers, and I'm kind of curious to see some of the webbing behavior. We didn't get as much of it in here when we had it in the vials, but I'm hoping with the leaves and some of the stuff around here, we'll start getting some of that webbing. And these are obviously going to give them plenty of room to grow. So let's get this one out of the way. And I'll try to remember to put a link to these up on Amazon. Last I tried to get them, they didn't have them available. Do know though, however, and I want to point this out, that if you get these for slings, There are 2 gaps in the plastic there with the hinges that you need to cover over. What I do is put some duct tape and I basically make sure the back of the tape isn't sticky, and that's worked great for them. So you close it down, they can't get out. But I did have a P. Sosme escape because of that, and I'm still kicking myself in the butt. I don't know how I didn't notice it when I housed them. And luckily after that I went and fixed all the other ones I was using. So let's get this one here. I think this might be the bigger of the 2. It's a pretty good size one. Let's see if we can get this one in without incident. I'm going to move the water dish out. Now, just to explain what I got here as far as obviously the quintessential setup, I've got substrate, this mix of cocoa fiber and peat. We've got some sphagnum moss thrown in here, fake plant, cork bark, not coke bark, we're not doing that here. Cork bark and some leaf litter that I've been putting in everything because it just looks very pretty. Actually, make grab. No. Oh, of course you're not going to make it easy for me. These guys are obviously fast. Oh, oh, I'm going to leave it right there so Billy can get a nice shot of that one. I'll go ahead and turn this light up a little bit. This one's got more of the dark coloration. I've been obsessed with these guys since seeing that video. I'm really excited to pick some up, and I've noticed there are quite a few keepers out there keep them. Beautiful. And if I remember correctly, I could be wrong on this one. I probably should have double checked before I took my notes, but I have a bunch of notes on it somewhere. The darker ones were around Israel, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong with that. Feel free to chime in. I know I've got some people that probably have these locally. Boom. There it is. I knew that was going to happen. All right. So there we go. All set. Can't wait to grow these guys up. I think a lot of people that picked these up did find them or did become interested in them because of that video by World of Spiders. And I know some other folks had thought about building something that kind of simulates rocks so that you can see. If you see the video, you have to go over to the video World of Spiders. I will put a link at the end of this. You owe it to yourself if you haven't seen it to go check it out. But they're living in nooks and crannies inside these rock structures. And they're just a lot of them in close proximity. I really would like to do something that would allow them to kind of do that, emulate that type of natural environment and live in those rocks. So we'll see how that goes. But there we go. See, olivaceum. I've heard it pronounced both ways. Feel free to chime in which way you pronounce it. Awesome spiders. Very excited to finally get to show these guys off now that they have some size on them. And I will obviously keep people updated as they grow. All right, so a little threat posture there, but overall went rather smoothly. Again, this species has a reputation for being very defensive. People that live in the regions where they come from have reported that if you catch them out, they'll stand their ground, throw up the threat postures. Might have been pretty laid back, but again, I'm not messing with them much in those dram bottles. And the rehousing was the first time I've kind of had any close-up interaction with them, and it went pretty well. So we'll see how that goes as they grow up. Also, this is a species that if given the room and the space and the means, will do some webbing. So I'm hoping to see some heavy webbing from it. I do love the heavy webbing spiders, and I'd really like to see these guys sitting out there in that nice dark sleek look against that white webbing. It should look really cool. So anyway, that will do it for this one. As always, if you enjoyed the video and you'd like to subscribe, very much appreciated. You click the little circle up there. If you want to check out some more videos ahead of time, you can find them over there. If you comment, know that I will answer it. I've been behind the 8 ball lately. I'm a teacher by trade. I've spent a lot of time in front of the computer, so I'm getting behind on my comments. But no, I will see them. I will answer them. And hopefully once school ends, we'll get back into answering them in a more timely manner. That'll do it for this one. Catch you guys next time.